Stop! There are some things you need to know before you file your VA claim. I have filed many claims, so please take a moment to learn from my mistakes and my successes. I'm Nicole from Low Income Relief, where we help millions of veterans save money and get free stuff. Now, I know you're probably wondering why you should listen to me, and that's fair. I obviously don't look like someone with a lot of military experience, but my husband and father-in-law are both disabled veterans with 100% level compensation from the VA. I handled both of their claims entirely by myself without the assistance of any veteran service organizations or experienced representatives at all. I've got a lot more experience with the VA than I would like, honestly. And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 things that you need to know before you file your next VA claim. First, plan to file a fully developed claim whenever possible. The VA does not move quickly. A traditional VA claim can take forever. If you gather all of your evidence and paperwork before you start, you can file what is known as a fully developed claim. These FDC claims get decided a lot faster than traditional claims because the VA doesn't have to waste time trying to gather evidence on your behalf. However, and this is important, you have to make sure that you have everything you'll need to support your claim before you file a fully developed claim. As part of your submission process, you will have to certify that there is no more evidence needed to decide your claim. That puts all of the work on you, but it could save you a lot of waiting, and it puts a lot more power in your hands when it comes to getting your claim approved, because you don't have to rely on the VA to do the work for you. I have filed a lot of claims, some FDC and some not, and personally, I will never file another claim that is not fully developed. Second, you need to focus on the Nexus. Each VA claim revolves around the Nexus. This is where you prove that the illness or injury, also called the condition, is caused by or got worse because of your active duty service. If you are claiming a secondary condition, then the Nexus requires you to prove that the new condition you are claiming is related to a condition that the VA has already determined to be service-connected. Third, you need to convince them that the condition is compensable. After the Nexus, the next thing you have to prove is that the condition is compensable by the VA and that they should compensate you for it. This is one of my favorite tricks, so please pay close attention. You can access the entire VA rating schedule online. It's called 38 CFR Book C, Schedule for Rating Disabilities, and it's available at benefits.va.gov. This enormous document contains a list of all the conditions that the VA considers compensable and how they are rated based on their symptoms. For example, let's consider sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a potentially serious sleep disorder. Basically, people with apnea just stop breathing when they sleep. To find out how sleep apnea is rated, you'll need to visit the list for respiratory systems in Book C. When you open that file, it'll show you all the respiratory conditions that the VA rates and how they are rated. When you search for sleep apnea, you'll see that there are 4 ratings that the VA will grant for apnea. There's a 0% rating for people who are diagnosed but asymptomatic, a 30% rating for people who are tired throughout the day as a result of their apnea, a 50% rating for those who require a CPAP machine for sleeping, and a 100% rating for those who have chronic respiratory failure or require a trach. Bam! Now you know how to get a 50% rating for sleep apnea, right? If you have this condition and you require a CPAP and you can get a doctor to provide you one, and you can prove that this is all connected to your military service, then it's an easy win. You can do this for every condition that you have been diagnosed with. On more complicated conditions, like hypothyroidism, you'll be able to see exactly what symptoms equal what rating with the VA. If you know the list of symptoms that they're looking for, then you will know what to look for in your medical records and what to stress in your appointments. I do not advocate lying or fraud in any way. Just full disclosure, don't lie, don't make stuff up. It's bad, don't do it. But like I said earlier in this video, I know a lot of disabled veterans. And for example, my father-in-law has many complex medical conditions that are all complicated and interrelated. So when he's talking to a doctor and they ask him how one particular condition manifests, he may not be able to sort that out and tell you what's caused by condition A and what's caused by condition B, because all he knows is that he feels all these things all at the same time. But by knowing what symptoms each condition is rated based on, we're able to look through his medical record and be like, okay, condition A causes this slew of symptoms. Condition B causes this slew of symptoms. And it makes it much easier for the people who determine the ratings to clearly get a picture of how bad each disability is. Because sometimes when you're living with chronic conditions or complex conditions, it gets really hard to sort out which symptoms are caused by which problem. So this has been very, very advantageous to us as we file our VA claims. Fourth, review your medical records. As you're preparing your claim, it just helps to remember the people who are going to be rating your claim have a big workload and a lot of responsibility. They don't have time to comb through everything in detail when they're trying to make their decisions. So if you make this information easy for them to find and understand, it's easier for them to approve your claim. So once you know what symptoms to watch for, look through your medical records. This can take a lot of time, but I guarantee you'll do a better job of it than the ratings examiner will. You can download your entire VA medical record online. You should also look at any records that you have from outside providers if you have any. Search for all of the symptoms that you found in Book C that go along with your conditions so that you can prove how severe your conditions are. While you're reviewing your records, make sure that they're accurate. The VA has made several mistakes in both my husband and my father-in-law's records, which could have been detrimental to our claim. But fortunately, those mistakes were very obvious because they were inconsistent with the rest of the record, so we were able to get those fixed. Fifth, write a letter and reference the important parts of your medical record. Now, I'll admit I usually go way overboard on this part. I am a writer and a researcher, and it shows. Because in my father-in-law's claim, my letter on his behalf was over 150 pages long. I pointed out every instance of every relevant symptom in his extensive medical record, as well as a whole bunch of case precedent and other things. Although your letter certainly doesn't have to be as long or detailed as mine, you absolutely should write one. I divide the letter into subheadings for each condition that is being claimed, and in each section I include the date of diagnosis, a clearly stated reason why it's connected to military service, and a list of all the relevant symptoms according to Book C. I reference dates and appointments in the medical record that document those symptoms, and I clearly state how the disability should be rated according to the rating schedule that we reviewed in Step 3. Most importantly, you want to make it clear and easy to see that the disability is service-connected and that the medical documentation proves that the disability is severe enough to warrant a certain rating from the VA. Sixth, gather supporting statements from employers, doctors, caregivers, friends, family, and others. Statements from others can help strengthen your case immensely. Whenever possible, get a letter from your doctors and your other providers. Many of them, however, will refuse to provide any such letter in my experience, but you should still get whatever letters you can. You can gather statements from current or former employers, coworkers, professors, caseworkers, caregivers, friends, family members, anyone who can witness or attest to the severity of your disability. People who know you in the community, such as church leaders, food bank volunteers, transit drivers, and others, may also be able to bolster your case if they can say that they have seen your disability in any way. Seventh, strengthen your case by reviewing prior VA decisions. This is another one of my favorite tricks. One of the reasons my letters are so long is because I also look at past VA board decisions and include precedent from the VA Board of Appeals. I have found some real gold in there that makes it very hard for the VA to deny my claims. I just use Google searches to find these relevant decisions, but I make sure to cite them in my letter. You obviously don't have to go this far if you don't want to, but you should at least review your prior VA decisions if you have any. When the VA makes a decision on a claim, they are required to justify that decision. So knowing why they declined or approved certain conditions in your past can help you preemptively counter their arguments before they deny the claim you're currently developing. This can help you avoid unnecessarily long appeals. If it isn't obvious already, I love researching and preparing reports. That's honestly how Low Income Relief started. So please let me know if you have any other questions about VA claims, and please subscribe to our channel for more ways to save money and get free stuff.